Alright, 11.2 day 2. We've got surface area of our composite solids. So this is some old stuff here, right? So if I've got my surface area, my prism and cylinder, right, I got two bases here. I've got my triangle and triangle. So 2 area of the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. My pyramid, I only have one base at the bottom. So I've got my area of my base plus 1/2 the perimeter P of my base times my slant height, because I've got to add up the 4 triangles on the side. Hemisphere, right? Don't forget about your circle on the top. 3 pi r squared. So now everything is going to be put together. Got a couple of examples here going for the 5-minute limit. Alright, so I've got a cone on the top of a cylinder, but since they meet here, I am not going to account for this circle because that's on the interior of the object. Alright, so if I've got my surface area, and sometimes I'll just draw a little picture of what I got. So I got my little cone. Alright, and then I've got my cylinder. Sometimes I write the words, you do you. Alright, so then I've got my area, my base. I'm going to just write the generic one. Plus 1/2 my perimeter of my base. Again, I did a B. Man. Times the slant height. But we're not accounting for that area of the base because it's on the inside. And if you remember the cone formula, right, we said instead of saying 1/2 2 pi RL, the 2 and the half are going to cancel out. So I know it's just going to be pi RL. And looks like my R is 2 and my L is 7. So I've got 14 pi. So when I do my cylinder, right, we're going to have my 2 area of the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. But same, one of my bases is gone because it's on the interior, so I just have one area of the base. So again, my pi is 2, so I'm going to go pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So if my r is 2, I've got 4 pi plus, let's see, what's my h? My h is 5. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Alright, so then for my cylinder, I've got a 24 pi. And for my cone, I've got a 14 pi. So then my total surface area of the object is going to be 38 pi inches squared. So if you just break them into pieces and then add them up, it's the easiest way to do it. There's really no other way to do it. Alright, so now we've got half of a cylinder, but it's the other half. It's cut in half vertically instead of just missing some of the parts. And then the bottom looks like a cube because it's 4 by 4 by 4. Alright, so if I go surface area of my cube, alright, so it's going to be, well, you can do the same thing. You can do 2 area of the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. Like, that works. But if you know it's a cube has 6 sides and they're all the same. So I'm going to take my 6 sides times the area of my base, which is 4 times 4. So then I've got 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 6 is 96. So now I've got to do my cylinder. So I'm just going to do the regular cylinder, find the answer, and then just cut it in half because it's half of that portion. And from that vertical slice, it's on the interior, so it doesn't count. Ooh, which reminds me, that interior slice doesn't count. So I don't want 6 here. I want 5. So that means I got to take away one of my 16. So this is really an 80. Ha! So for those of you at home following along, going, you messed up, Mr. Adam, I gotcha. Found it first. Surface area. So I got my 2 area of the base. So I got 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So I've got pi r. Let's see, my r, if it goes all the way across, it's 4. So that means it's 2 on each side. So my r is a 2. 2 squared is a 4. So again, 2 times 2, I'm going to call that a 4 pi. And then my h is also a 4. So then I've got 8 pi plus 16 pi is 24 pi. Alright, so now that's for the whole cylinder. So I don't want a whole cylinder, I want half a cylinder. So I'm going to go with my total surface area again. It's going to be 80 plus 12 pi. And if you really want to have a decimal answer, you are more than welcome to type it in your machine. And you're going to get 117.699. and our units were inches, so 9.5 inches squared. And sometimes people put that into parentheses because there is two terms. All right, there we go. 2 down. Here comes the third one. I just hit the 5-minute mark. I'm not going to make it. These are long. All right, surface area composite solid. Missing area. So they put the tube in there, so that's like drilled out, like there's a hole in there. So I've got a cube. All right, so then I've got, so if I do my cube, it's going to be, there are all 6 sides. So if every side is 5, I got 5 times 5 times 6 sides, which is 25 times 6. So if you have 6 quarters, right, you got $1.50. So now I don't want the inside. Like, this is surface area. This should be stuff I touch. So I am eliminating the circles here. Okay, so I'm going to do my cylinder, but I'm going to keep them in parts, and I'll explain as I go. So surface area of my cylinder is going to be 2 pi, area of the base, right? Pi r squared plus perimeter of the base, 2 pi r times my height. So they're telling me my r is a 2. So 2 squared is a 4. So this is an 8 pi. And then my h is a 5. So I got 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Alright, so we're going to leave them separate like we said. Okay, there's a reason for it. So this is a hole, so this doesn't count. So for my total surface area, I know I've got to take my cube, my 150. I've got to subtract my circular holes. But if I put my hand in here, I can touch the inside here. So now that is a space that I can touch, so that's got to count. Okay, so that means I've got to add on this interior space of 20 pi. Alright, so that means all in all I've got 150 plus 12 pi. Alright, there's no units on here, so then I can also type that in if that helps you, if you like that part. Plus 12 pi. 187 and 669. I like that 669 part. 187, 669 units squared. There we go. Composite solids, break them into pieces. Think about what you can touch. Usually people say, can you paint it? Because you can paint the outside, but if it's volume, it's going to be on the inside. So it's what you can touch versus what you cannot touch. All right, see you guys.